Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you doing today? Huh. I did get scammed if you saw the title. I did just buy a home if you also saw the thumbnail. Your boy's home owning now, which is crazy to think about. It's actually crazy to think about that because it's crazy to think about that I'm a homeowner now. And it's a nice home, nice area. I basically got what I wanted. It just really came down to the wire, and that was the most stressful part, right? There was a lot that went into this entire thing, right? The finances behind it, the loan stuff behind it, looking for the home, the inspections, the closing, all that stuff was crazy.
Yeah, I actually did get scammed. What did I exactly get scammed out of? I'm sitting on them. So I ordered, well, first of all, backtracking. When I was moving in, I had to get a new washer and dryer unit. Obviously, the house wasn't going to come with one. So I researched online and saw that they were so fucking expensive. And I was like, holy shit, when did washer and dryers get this expensive? And my next reaction was call Dad, Mom, how do I get cheap washer and dryers? They were like, check Facebook Marketplace, and I'd never bought from Facebook Marketplace before that. Never liked doing transactions on there. I didn't trust it. But I was like, I don't want to spend thousands on a washer and dryer set, so let me try and save some money. And when I went online, I saw a lot of people were selling like just basic washer and dryer units because I don't need the bells and whistles. But the basic washer and dryer unit, they're selling them for like $500, $600, $700. So I was like, why not? And I found the guy that was selling it for pretty cheap. So I started talking with him. I started chatting with him. Throughout the conversation, throughout the DMs, there were quite a few yellow and red flags that I had willingly chosen to ignore because mentally I was just wanting to save as much money as possible without thinking of the consequences of like, do your due diligence and things like that when it comes to dealing with people online. And I scammed myself, basically, was the crux of it. Like, the guy scammed me, yeah, but I also scammed myself. I am and was less mad about the money that I lost in the scam because it wasn't a bank-breaking amount, and thankfully I was only out of a washer and dryer because of the scam. I was more upset because I'd let myself get scammed. I was more upset because I had willfully ignored all the signs that said, this is a scam, don't do it. And I said, no, I'm nice fuck, and I'm going to trust the fact that this isn't a scam and that I'm not being scammed right now, and then I got scammed. So, I mean, I spent 5 hours at this home the day I moved in waiting for the person to deliver it, and they never delivered it. Throughout the entire time I was doing that, it was just hindsight 2020 of like, how stupid do I feel having let that happen to me? And I know everybody goes through scams in life, and the reason why I also wasn't as upset about the fact that I got scammed is more so the fact that I let myself get scammed. But I wasn't too upset about it because I was talking to my friend about it the same day that people go through so much more shit than I have, right? People have legitimately been scammed out of their livelihood. They've been scammed out of their entire wealth. They've been scammed out of their entire businesses, their entire homes, etc. I got scammed out of a couple $100 in a washer dryer, right? Nothing didn't really change anything in my life specifically to a drastic extent, but it was a learning opportunity that I want to make sure that going forward, I'm always doing my due diligence. And something I want to share with everybody who's watching this is a lot of the times, yeah, we want to use money to buy back ourselves time, but we need to make sure that we're using our time effectively to save as much money as possible in whatever transaction that we're doing. Like, if you're buying something, don't put more money on the table than you need to. So you spend your time so that you're not putting more money on the table than you need to, or spend your time to make sure that what you're doing is safe for you, it's legitimate, and it's in actuality, it's not just, I spent a day researching this and I'm going to go do it, right? And then if you're on the selling side, make sure you don't leave money on the table, things like that. But yeah, I got scammed at a washer and dryer. It was a 2-week process, multiple calls and back and forths, and I thought I was the one in sort of control. I knew I wasn't, but I mean, I thought I was. And then the day came and I was like, well, you let yourself get taken advantage of. It is what it is. But
That being said, but it's mine now. We got through it all. I think the scariest part was really down to the wire when I kept looking for homes in November and December, because every couple of days, I'd select these homes on Zillow or One Home or whatever like portal I had, and I would drive around the areas, like 5 homes. I would spend 2-3 hours driving and just go looking at them, and almost all of them I just drove up to it, said nope, and kept driving. I only ever walked into 2 homes to see them. The first home that I walked into was the first time I drove around homes, and it was one in the area that I wanted. It was a 4x2 spacious home, spacious kitchen, 2 livings. The garage had been converted into 2 little rooms, one I could have used as an office. It was just a really nice home, but it was at the upper limit of my budget, and I knew that. Like, I really liked it. Like, I was already like planning things in that thing. That thing was amazing. And if I had my way, I would have taken the financial beating and gotten it, but it wasn't worth it. It wasn't. In hindsight, yeah, like it would have stretched me pretty thin, because I would not have been able to bid under the listing price, and I would have had to, negotiations would not have been in my favor, right? I would have been at the seller's mercy on a lot of things. So I didn't want to go, we ended up not going through with that. And that was kind of a hard bullet to eat, as like, I'm fresh in this kind of thing, and I'm looking for a home to live in. I'm not looking for a home to invest in and rent out immediately. So it was upsetting, because it was also like the area was so great, right? Like it was exactly what I wanted. But had to keep going. So throughout November, December, I kept looking at more and more homes at my upper limit budget. And at one point, my listing agent had sent me homes that were outside of my budget. But I was like, you know what? Let's just open up the budget and see what homes are available, because nothing that I wanted was within my budget. That was good. That was going to be good for me. I ended up finding a home that was about $15,000 over my budget, and I was like, let me go look at it. I drove to this area. I drove around the neighborhood. I was like, it's nice. The neighborhood's nice. The home is nice. My listing agent came by and looked at it, and it was great. Like, the home it's 1,500 square foot home. A little bit, it's 1560. So it's a decent size for me, right? It has a space that I need, the ceilings are tall, but it's not so big that I can't clean it all myself. And I can clean this thing myself in like a day if I want to, which is really nice. Small backyard, 2-car garage, small lawns that I have to take care of, not too much that way. So things were looking good. I was like, you know what? It's nice, but it was out of my budget. And this is where I really recommend a new person buying a home, is always have an agent that knows what they're doing, that knows how to buy and sell a home. Because my agent said, you know what? Let me look at the market and look at what the other homes around here were selling for. And when she did that analysis, she was like, I think this listing is it's like not severely, but it's definitely overpriced, and we can get away with asking for less. So we asked for $45,000 less than the listing price. And it just turns out, and this is where I think the luck factor played in for me, is that the seller didn't really just wanted to get rid of the home. He had it as an investment property, and he wasn't here. He's never been to the home. So he didn't really know how the home looked, how the home was, in what condition it was and everything. And we did, because we came in here and looked at it. But he accepted, and we started negotiations. We started the option period and all that stuff. So that was the second to last week of December. And the last week of December was the most stressful week, probably of my entire 2022 year. I have a whole ass home now, which is really weird to think about, because I don't know, it's like, it's supposed to feel different, but sometimes it doesn't feel different, because it's just another place I live. But now it's the entire added responsibility of being a homeowner, which is fun. I actually like cleaning, tidying, things like that. I love just collapsing on the floor and just sitting on the floor and doing things as I'm doing things now because I don't have a living room set yet. And I just love that it's all mine. I don't have to worry about anybody else living in the home if something I'm doing is bothering somebody else in terms of noise volumes or activities. It doesn't matter if I don't vacuum the floor for like 3 days, because on day 4 I'll vacuum it or whatever it is. And I wake up in the morning and tell myself I want to do certain things. I do them. I move on with my day. I take care of everything. It's mine. That's what I love about it. But it's also weird because it's such a novel idea, or it's just a novel thing, right? To me, I mean, buying a home wasn't anything major, but to my family it was big because I'm the first one in our family to do that. Not the first one, like my parents had a home. But like when it came to like my grandmother and, my family back in India and stuff, they were like very happy with me because a lot of them live in apartments or flats. I don't really buy a home like that in India. I don't need to. I'm one of the first ones here to do it. Other people are happy for me and I appreciate that. I appreciate all the blessings. For me, it's just like, oh cool, I bought a home. And then I go to days like living here and everything, and I'll wake up one morning and think, oh shit, I have a home now. It's weird. But it's fun. It's fun getting things to the point of how I like them. It's an ongoing project, like everybody says. There's always something to do, or always something that you want to do, which is always fun because it keeps me busy. And in this entire video, I'll show you multiple things that I love about the home. I'm not going to give you an entire home tour just yet until things are done. But my top 3 favorite things, if not number 1 favorite thing so far about the home, is the skylight. Now, I don't know if you can see it unless I do like something like that, but you see that skylight up there? That's what I love about it, because in the morning or late in the evening, I can come out here and take photos and try and be a little bit more creative with photography, which is really fun with just a skylight and the post edit. I really like this space. It's the blank wall behind me and then the light coming down. I enjoy both those parts of it. I'm not a photographer, I'm not a videographer, just try things for fun, and that's kind of the point of it. But yeah, I will say this entire journey and experience has been really, really fun. I would say this entire journey experience hasn't been the most fun. It was definitely stressful. In December, I actually broke down to my sister on call one Sunday because after the home inspection had happened, first of all, inspect your home, okay? Just get the home inspection done, okay? Don't rush it. Get the home inspection done. Do it right. Now, back to what I was saying. We had the home inspection done, and the inspector had uncovered quite a few things wrong with the home. Not like deal breaker things for me, but then my agent and my family was like, no, like if this doesn't get fixed, you can't move in. And I was like, what do you mean I can't move in? They're like, you can't close. I'm like, what do you mean I can't close? It's fine. And, they were just looking out for me, and because they know more than I do the cost of these kind of issues, the consequences of these kind of issues. But I was just looking at it like, oh, it's the home is almost mine. And so I broke down to my sister because I was like, every single time something goes right, something goes wrong as well. And every time my agent would call me, because I'd work from home and I see my agents call, I was like, I would look at my little picture of my God on my table. I would be like, please no, not this time. Answers the call. Okay. Ends call. Why did you do this? I was like that so many times. I would just get a call. I was like, okay, cool, everything's done, right? Yes, but every time. So I had to get used to that. I had to get used to things like that. But all in all, I'm happy with the outcome, and it was worth all the work that went into it. Because in that week, I was off from work. Our firm shuts down for like a week on July 4th and a week on Christmas or New Year's week. So I was off of work. So I had all of these plans to create content, get ahead for January, get the plan set up, get my Etsy listing set up. Barely any of that happened, and here's why. So now that we have I sent the earnest money and we have the option period set up, I had to get the inspection done. You have a week to get that, less than a week to get that kind of stuff done. So, the seller signed on the Friday, and that Monday I'd called people. I was like, hey, I need an inspector out there who's going to be out there Wednesday. Done. During that week, my fiance was back in town, and she lives in Ohio. We do long distance, and so I'm somebody who spares no expense for the woman that I love. And so I kept, every single day I would drive the 30-40 minutes I needed to go see her. I would stay with her family for a couple of hours, come back to my apartment and keep doing things. So the first half of the day, most of the time was me trying to do work, trying to get home stuff set up, trying to do YouTube stuff, trying to do Etsy stuff, TikTok, all that. Basically content creation plus home stuff. Second half of the day was spending time with her. And that was every single day. And then I had her family come see the home during the inspection when it was going on, and they liked it. So I was like, this is a good sign. This is a good sign for the home. But, you know, the one thing that kind of got to me was whenever somebody more experienced comes and looks at things like this, they pick out all the faults. Not to be negative, it's just to bring awareness to like, this needs to have work, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And so there was just like an entire list that was being created of things that needed to be done. And once the inspection report was done and the inspector was like going through with me, there were a lot of things that needed to be addressed. The roof, the sprinkler system, plumbing issue, foundation issue, slight foundation issue. It wasn't anything crazy. Tree trimming issues. Like there were a lot of things that needed to be done. And I was getting anxious because a lot of those things, you know, you can just call somebody and fix after you move in, but a lot of these things need to be fixed before you moved in, right? There was an issue with the plumbing where there was a leak somewhere, and so the water valve was just like spinning, means there was like a pretty decent sized leak in there, as what I was told. And so I was getting really stressed out because that was one of the things where I ended up breaking down to my sister about, because I was like, because everybody was like, if this leak is major, you can't move in. So I kept praying. I called a plumber. I had them go look at it. I had them go fix it. Thankfully, it was a small leak in a small pipe, and they were able to like fix it from the outside of the home. They didn't have to come inside the home. They were able to fix it. Everything was done. And by now, we'd extended the option period like 2 or 3 times already. This was like mid-January now. And we were going back. We had to get a foundation person to come look at it. And the guy came and looked at the foundation and said, listen, it's off by a couple of inches. I'll recommend 7 or 8 piers being put on this portion of the home to lift it up. Once again, I freaked out because they were like, you can't close if we can't get this fixed properly, or we can't get the plan if we don't have a plan in place to fix it. And mind you, I was supposed to be out of my current apartment on February 11th. We were having these conversations the first week of February. And this entire time, let me back up a little bit. When we were doing negotiations with the seller and he accepted our $40K price drop, he was like, don't ask me for more things. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm not gonna ask you for more things. You just gave me a $40K discount on your home. But with a lot of these like expenses that were coming up, with a lot of these issues that were coming up, we were telling, like my agent kept going back to him and she was like, no, we're gonna ask him for more. Because you can't move into a home and do all these expenses yourself. We have to at least ask. And one thing I will say, the value of my parents' generation is they always ask. They always ask. Even if it's no, they ask because it could be a yes. Whereas I know a lot of the times people in my generation, we don't want to ask because we expect the no and we don't want to hear the no. So we don't ask, expecting the no, even though we should ask in case there's a yes. That is a lesson I'm still learning now and still trying to work on. But that being said, you know, kept going back to the seller with things. It was very much an up and down, because we wouldn't hear from him for like 2-3 days, and then we get a response and things like that. So 2-3 days were getting lost at a time, and it came down to the wire where I closed the week that I was supposed to move, and then the move happened. Shout out movers, by the way. Anybody moving, just get movers. It's worth spending the couple $100 if you get a decently get quotes. Always get quotes, as my father says. But shout out movers, get movers. They do things really quickly. That my movers had a minimum 2 hours, and they did everything in 2 hours, even though they had to drive 30 minutes to the new home still, and did everything in 2 hours. Also because I set up everything for them. Like, I took the time to pack everything before the morning that the movers were arriving, and I put everything in one corner of my living room. And you'll see probably a couple of those clips coming up right now while I'm talking. But I packed almost everything the night before, just so that all they had to do was come in, take things out, right? They didn't have to pack things for me. They didn't have to help me pack things. I wasn't slowing them down either. So that's one thing where I'll say, you know, if you get movers and have them spend the 2 hours moving everything, pack that stuff yourself preemptively, okay? Don't wait till the morning of to pack your things, because that just creates a pain for you. And if it creates more time for you, then you're paying more money to them to move things. So it's not worth it. I kept, until I closed, I was like, is something going to go wrong with the home? Every single time. Nothing did, and I moved into the home, and I was very happy about it. And what you're looking at right now is just my office space. I'll pan the video on this right now, but I have my desk against the wall over there. I have my bookshelf here, and I have my reading nook here just to sit and talk to you guys. And I really like this space. It's really cozy. And once again, it's away from my bedroom. So I have space in my home, which is what I really want. Like, I want space to do things. I hated my apartment because I felt so cramped. I live in Texas. So that was kind of the crazy part. That was the craziness that happened in the past couple of months. Also, I haven't uploaded about a week and a half now. It is because all this stuff has been going on, but I have a home, so now I can show you guys a lot more fun things. And a couple of the fun features are like, I have a skylight in this home, which is really fucking fun because I can take creative pictures and hopefully videos and things like that now, and it's exciting. I have a whole space of flat ground that I can use to like work out in and things like that. My kitchen is really cute. This office space is decently big to where it's not cramped. Like, I have this in a corner, that in a corner, and I'm done. I want to get a dresser. I might get a side table for extra things, and I'm done. Right? Like, this space allows me to move, and I love that. My bathroom is pretty. I have a pretty large bathroom and a closet, which is really funny to me, just because my sister always, like, whenever I show her any new apartment or whatever I have, she's like, "Why is your closet so big? Why do you have a kit? Why is your kitchen so big?" Because she lives like up north, and so she lives in kind of the more cramped apartment spaces up north that you live in. So you kind of make do with what you have. Versus me, I end up being lucky with the space, because even though I'm not someone who needs a lot of closet space, I'm not someone who needs a large bathroom, but I just end up getting one. So that's always fun. But yeah, that's kind of a summary of what's been happening for the past couple of months. I don't generally do vlogs on this channel. I may or may not do more, but I just wanted to update you guys on where I've been, what I've been doing. I just wanted to say that there's 240 of you guys here right now, or that are subscribed. Whoever's watching this, like the 20 people who watch this, I fucking love you. And I do this for you. The shorts are for the other 220 people. There's 240 of you guys right now, and I love it. I love this journey. I lost a little bit of my content muscle over the week that I wasn't creating anything. And so getting back onto it was really hard, because the entire January, I was on a massive Grishaverse stint, and I was just creating content like crazy over on TikTok. A lot of the stuff I didn't port to YouTube just because I knew it wouldn't work properly on YouTube. Like, I'm still trying to work out what works on YouTube, and it seems like it's like externally curated content versus how TikTok is just like a lot of lifestyle and just like natural shit. It just feels like that doesn't work on YouTube, but I don't know. I could just be lying to myself and make myself feel better. I'm still working on YouTube Shorts. But I was creating a shit ton of content on TikTok, and shit was blowing up there. Once I stopped, because I was uploading like 3-4 times a day on TikTok, just because that's what I was reading, and I was getting used to like quick 5-second video upload, fuck the metrics, just upload. And when I stopped doing that, things just slowed down for me, which is understandable, right? I had momentum and I stopped, and so it slowed down, both here, the content muscle, and in the actual metrics, and that's fine, right? It was a fun experience to realize I'm capable of getting these results when I put in the time. Now, the main issue that I'm having now is, now that I do have the home, and I will have a lot of things to do with the home, also with work is going to be picking up in here in about half a month. The time that I have to spend to content is not going to be the most. So the biggest struggle for March and April are going to be, how do I not even balance, how do I allocate my time appropriately so that things are kept moving. I do not care about growth. I care about getting things moving, making my systems more efficient, and making my work product consistent and with better quality. I'm still getting used to proper videography, because there's a part of me that just loves sitting here and talking to you guys. But I know there's a part of me, there's a viewer part of me that I watch videos that have a lot of like cuts and interesting parts, and videos are moving and things are happening. But I do also watch podcasts that are like, I just sit, put it on the background, I hear someone talking to me, I giggle if someone says something funny, and I keep working, and I keep doing what I'm doing. There's a part of me that wants obviously to do better. I'm about to start going through the growing pains of doing better. The issue I have with that is it's gonna cause a bottleneck in my system to where I may not be able to get the videos out that I want to get out every month or every week, right? The goal was shorts every single day, or short form content every single day, long form once a week, which doesn't seem that hard. You know, I miss one day and then everything's backed up. So in this regard, I've missed a couple of days and now everything's backed up. Content will come back. It will be better. It's always going to be better. There's no way it can't be better. There's no way it can't be better. So it's going to be better. But I just need you guys to bear with me here. Tell your friends about Intro Archives, because it's going to be fun. That's one thing I will guarantee, is it will be fun, even though it's not right now, but it will be fun eventually. That's about it. I think that's the end of this video here. It was just a small little vlog. To be honest, I've read one book in February. I'm reading my second one right now, and it's February 27th when I'm recording this. So, I mean, sometimes you just have really rough reading months. I'm hoping to read more of the next coming months, even though I'll be busy with work. I'm hoping to read more. The current book I'm reading right now is The Henna Artist. And just to give you a little disclaimer, I'm not feeling it. I'm not going to DNF it. I'm going to finish it. I'm just not feeling it. So I might just end up not reading Secret Keeper Jebber right off the bat. I might switch to something else that I actually want to read. Might more enjoy reading. And then I might come back to Secret Keeper at some point later in the year. I have a massive list of books I want to read anyway, and keep finding new books that I want to read or go back to that I've read in my older days. So I'm going to read something and get that to y'all in March. But for now, take it easy. Do your due diligence. Don't get scammed. Yes, I just got home. I'm super excited. Hopefully I can bring out more content to you, but I have to figure out what that is first of all. And lastly, I appreciate you. Appreciate you.